Hello, this is just going to do this very brief video of this Bosendorfer 1927 fully restored piano, restored really well. Not by ourselves, there's a little bit of refinement we'd quite like to do on it, but it's good as it is, very nice. So the pitch is already, I've checked the pitch and that's already on concert. This is regular tuning, so the client has played this piano very little, so it shouldn't be too bad. Although it was pitch raised, I think, for the last tuning. So very, very little out of tuneness here. Just check the unisons. Oh, that's unisons out. Those two are out, and the middle one, so it's just the middle string that's out of tune. So I've just finished the scale, going through the scale. They're just about maybe 10 unisons slightly out. This is my order of tuning. That's C, then the G, D, A, all fifths, and then dropping an octave. Now that's not the standard way. Most people tune between F and F and then do fourths and fifths like that. It's just the way I started tuning, and I just like the sound of octaves, and it doesn't really matter what method of tuning, it's the end result that counts. And I say this is a regular tuning, so as we get to the end, I want to make sure that the fifth, that fourth and that fifth are sounding very, very pure. And indeed the whole thing, as I say, it was just a few unisons that needed doing this time. Just one note that was slightly flat, but apart from that, the whole unisons. And now we're going up past the scale, C sharp, D, etc., all the way up to the top. I've done the top section and coming through to the tenor area, fourths and fifths and octaves. There's been a couple of notes slightly flat in the treble. Just a few notes, quite a few unisons out, but not a huge number. The client said he doesn't play this piano very much. He's got another Steinway Model B as well. You want to go downwards onto the note as much as possible, and then hit it reasonably hard. That's not yet in yet. Those two strings are okay, and this one. I think that's as good as we can get that. And I discovered something when I was tuning, which is quite common even when pianos are restored, that there's too much, the stop rail is a bit high, the damper stop rail, which means that if I play it, you can still lift it up higher. Now there's going to be a very slight slack, but you can actually feel on some notes more than others. You can feel it hitting back onto your finger. And my finger is on the key now, and that can actually feel on my finger. I can actually feel that. You can see my fingers on that key, and as I drop the damper, I can feel it. And you can feel that as an kind of after effect. So we can minimise that, and as you see that the pedal lifting up the dampers lifts them higher. If you look at that one, the pedal will lift it higher up. We need to check that these dampers are clearing. But there's not an awful lot in it, to be honest with you. It's being pretty finicky. It's quite well done, because that damper must clear the string. So it may be that the stop rail is as good as we can get. We'll have a look at the stop rail in a minute so you can see what I mean. Now just finished the tuning, checked it off with fifths and octaves, and corrected a few top ones. But the piano isn't played a lot, it's very stable. Beautiful tenor area. Talking about the stop rail earlier, and if you look at the damping coming up here, actually there's not much leeway to go any lower for the stop rail, because that needs to really clear the strings when I pull it up. So that's the stop rail's holding it now. I'll show you what the stop rail is in a minute, and it is clearing. The problem we've got with that feeling of the kickback is actually that these dampers so come off a bit earlier than these dampers here. This damper here comes off very late. If we look at this one here, the damper's coming off very late. So the problem isn't the stop rail, it's the fact that we need to regulate the damping to get, so we stop that kick. If you look at that, there's quite a lot of kick there. See, a lot there, because the damping's coming off much later. So it's really a matter of taste as to where you leave. It's really quite difficult, but they should all be the same. So these should come off at the same time as these, and then you can get the stop rail as good as you can. So there's a slight compromise very often, but we can't get the stop rail any higher. We'll have a look at it in a second and you can see what I mean. There's the damper system. The stop rail is literally, we're losing the pedal here. We can see where they will stop, so they can't go any higher. Resisting it. This is the stop rail here, and we adjust them with those screws there. Now actually he's adjusted the screws according to how far the dampers are going up, so the stop rail's a bit higher here than it is there, so it really have to start from scratch and re-regulate, starting with the stop rail and then doing the individual dampers. Now the great thing about Bosendorfers is tremendous to have this spoon here, and also the capstan for damping, for fine damping regulation. Really, you can get very good fine damping regulation on a Bosendorfer. So looking at the damping again, see the stop rail stops the dampers going any further up, and when you press the key, so you don't want to kick back so that you can feel it, and there's more kickback when the dampers are coming off earlier. Obviously there's more kickback then. The only way we can improve that is to re-regulate the whole thing, and it is pretty much okay. Just trying to sort of see if there's any refinements. The other refinement we could make is the set-off could get quite a bit closer for quiet playing, so that if you're playing something like the Moonlight Sonata, there's a minimum amount that you can get softness. You need the set-off to get closer than that if you wanted to get softer than that, and then you get better control. And also the drop screw needs to be a bit closer. But those are minor refinements. The piano is really, really very, very beautiful to play already. Thank you very much for listening.